everybody, welcome back to another video from HSTV, and in today's video it's a bit more chill. Guys, I asked you on Instagram to send me some questions that you wanted answered. So that could have been anything about studying medicine, Edinburgh University, how to get into medical school, or about me in general. So I thought it's been a while since we did one of these more interactive videos, and I thought it'd be useful for you guys. So if you are new to the channel and you don't know who I am, my name is Hayden Shamaz. I'm now a fourth year medical student here at the University of Edinburgh, and yeah, my channel is all about medical school life, helping students get into medicine. We do tech videos, note taking, so a pretty good mixture on the channel. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do consider doing so, and yeah, like my videos if you like them. So let's just get straight into the questions. So first of all, someone asked for an interview guide. Now I think that either a video has already been posted or is coming soon about how to ace your Edinburgh Medical School interview. So hopefully that will help a little bit. But I think just general advice, because I do know that it's sort of interview season at the moment, just practice, do lots of mock interviews with, if you can, medical students or healthcare professionals, because the feedback they give is quite specific to medical school interviews. They're quite different to other types of interviews, so it's good to get practice with these kind of specific people. Other things I would say is really just keep up with the news, read up on hot topics. You know, in the UK at the moment there's all the junior doctor strikes going on. There's recently been the Lucy Let Be case, so yeah, just like things like that, always keep an eye on the news, because it's stuff that could come up as part of ethical dilemmas and hot topic questions. So yeah, overall, just don't overdo your answers in terms of rehearsing them. You know, you want it to come across natural. Make sure you got your motivations down for why you want to study medicine. Analogies are always really good for this. Try and make your story memorable and different from the person sitting next to you. So that's like my top tips for interviews, but yeah, you guys can also check out my interview course where I can give some one-to-one mentoring as well if you want more help. So yeah, hopefully more interview guides are coming up in the future as well, so stay tuned. Okay, next up, somebody has asked how to ace in UKAT and SJT without failing. So the funny thing is, actually, you can't really fail at the UKAT or the SJT. Technically you can get like a minimum score of something like 300, at which point I think the universities won't take you. But yeah, I think the best thing with UCAT, because it is such an awkward exam, is just practice, practice, practice. And I myself used a resource like Medify. I do run a UCAT course as well if you want some help going through different types of questions, but honestly, my top tip is you don't even need to sign up to any course. Just try to familiarize yourself with the different types of UCAT questions, and obviously with practice you'll come up with certain strategies, but really the more questions you do, the faster you'll become. And with UCAT, it's all about speed. I have no doubt that if you were given all day to the UCAT, you could probably get all of them right, because the actual content is not that difficult. In terms of the situational judgment, I guess for that, especially for international students, I think it is a little bit tricky in the sense that you have to understand the UK's NHS and the UK's system a little bit, just in terms of, you know, what a junior doctor is, what a registrar is, what a consultant is, what your responsibilities are at each of those roles. Because that will kind of inform your decision making. So make sure you read up a little bit on that. But honestly, situational judgment is the most relevant section. You have to actually do a situational judgment in your final year of medical school as well. So it's something that's going to come up again. But yeah, just practice, practice, practice is my top tip. Alright, so somebody has asked, how long does it take you to commute to uni each day? Do you find it difficult? That's a really good question, because so basically the way Edinburgh is, I think it's got a good bus system, but because it is a capital city, it's just getting busier and busier and busier. So especially if you're trying to get from one end of the city to the other end, it can take ages. So if I'm on the bus, my commute to the Royal Infirmary of Edinburgh is going to take like over an hour, which is pretty ridiculous, I think. If I'm in the car, I think I've reduced it down to like 40 minutes, but even then, it's just all depends on traffic. So Yeah, the commute can be difficult, especially in the morning. You know, if my session on placement, you know, if I'm in OT, it's starting at 8:15 or 8:30, then I have to leave the house at like 7:15 to make sure I'm there on time and I can change and, you know, be ready to start in OT. So yeah, it's a bit of a hassle sometimes, but thankfully placements, they're quite flexible and there's not really like a hard dead set time you need to be there most of the days. Obviously, if there's procedures and things that the doctors want you to see, then it's always good to be there earlier, but for the most part it's not too bad. But yeah, if you are living more centrally, I think you'll be fine. Like it'll take you like 25 minutes to get to Royal Infirmary of Edinburgh. I guess that's the other thing, like it depends what campus you're in, because like, are you at the old medical school, which you'll be based at a lot if you're in like year 1 and 2 doing anatomy, and then obviously there's the Western General Hospital, there's St John's Hospital. You can also be placed out at Borders in the 5th year of medical school, so really depends. But the Royal Infirmary, because that's the main teaching hospital, most of your placements will be there. For me, that takes around an hour, unfortunately, so yeah. Okay, somebody has asked, what are your favourite places to study at Edinburgh Uni? That's a really good question. Honestly, I am a big homebody, so I mostly just study in my bedroom. I think it's where I have the least amount of distractions. I can get food, it's warm, and yeah, it's just more chill for me. However, I do like the Chancellor's Building Library, which is over at the Royal Infirmary of Edinburgh. I think that's a really underrated library. Basically, it's got 2 floors. You've got like a study area on the bottom floor, and then upstairs you've got a massive computer suite. So I use that computer suite quite a bit because there's NHS computers there, and if I have to, you know, log onto the system to either write a case-based discussion or, you know, things like that, I can't do at home. So I do like that library. I think a lot of people, they gear towards Central Library, and that's great, but honestly it's just so busy. So the Chancellor's Library is never that busy, and I think it's underrated, so definitely go check it out. It's like on the 1st floor of the Chancellor's Building when you go upstairs, and yeah, I think it's a pretty nice place. Someone else has asked, hardest things about studying medicine, does everyone else find it hard? Honestly, yes. Especially now that I'm in my clinical years, I think it is hitting me a lot harder, just because I actually have to know a lot of conditions and their management plans, and it's something I wasn't used to doing in year 1 and 2, so there's just a lot of workload, rather than conceptually it's not that difficult. I think everyone else does find it hard, especially like, you know, my friend group and people that I've spoken to. We all sort of moan, groan and complain constantly about how much there is to do. And then I guess on top of that, you know, if you're a part of committees and you're trying to like build your portfolio, which I am trying to do, and you're part of societies and all this sort of other side stuff going on, it can become very hard. So there's no doubt it's hard, but the good thing is, if you got good organization, you should be alright. So you just have good organization of when you're doing what, and have a good amount of flexibility within your timetable as well for things to change. But yeah, I think we're all in the same boat, and we will get through it. Okay, next question is, what was your biggest fear when starting medical school? That's a good question, and honestly, it's gonna come across really arrogant, but I don't think I had any fears when I was starting medical school, but that's just because I felt like even after all of this work experience and career insight and all that, I just didn't really know what I was getting myself into. And yeah, I know it sounds a bit bad, but I just think that because I was not moving city, I was staying at home, and I was just really pleased to get into medical school, that I wasn't thinking about all this other stuff like, you know, it's going to be difficult, or the workload, or organization, or, you know, being more independent as a student. And these are things that did hit me quite hard when I went into first year. And I always say this, but you know, I have a lot of sympathy for people who do move out for university. I know that you're gaining like this new level of independence, but it is really difficult. And we were COVID year as well. Starting in 2020 was not easy. So I think for me, I didn't really get the chance to reflect on this and to think about what I'm scared of for starting medical school, and maybe that was because of COVID-19 as well. There was just a lot of other things going around, so yeah, but it's perfectly okay to have fears for starting university in general, I think. Never mind medical school, which is just going to be really busy anyway. So don't worry if you do. Okay, so somebody has now asked, how can we get involved in research papers? Don't even get me started. It's such a hassle, it's so hard. I think that just trying to do research at medical school has just become really overcrowded, because there's like a lot of people who want to build strong portfolios, and for that you do need research. But my thing is, if I'm going to do a research project, I want it to be meaningful. I want it to be something that's published somewhere, you know, with a good impact factor. It's not something that's just going to be, you know, another, you know, grain of sand in the vast world of research. But there is a lot of that happens, and it's hard to get involved with good quality projects. I think it's all about finding a good supervisor as well, someone who can lead you through this process, because, you know, you're only going to be like 18, 19, 20, 21, like it's very, very early days, and I've had no clue what research was, to be honest with you, when I started medical school. And I only got into it like first and second year because the university, they do something called a student selected component. So this is where you do a group research project, and these projects are good because they give you skills and experience, and you can actually go on beyond the university project to publish things and you know, present at conferences and things like that. But my advice on getting involved is to find good supervisors. If you're on placement, ask the consultants there, the registrars, or, you know, even the junior doctors, whoever it is, ask them, you know, if they've got any projects, and normally people do, and they're looking for data collectors and things like that. My other thing is, you know, depends on your experience. I think, like, you're obviously going to start somewhere, and as you build up your portfolio, it'll become a bit easier. Like, if you've done systematic reviews, if you've done qualitative studies, you can tell supervisors about that, and that gives them a bit more encouragement to get you involved in their projects. So yeah, just start somewhere. It can be any project, you know, keep your options open. Like, I'm very into cardio, but I have nothing published in cardio at the moment. Like, that'll surprise you, but honestly, because I've just found other really interesting projects that I've just put myself out there, I've gotten involved with, and there's been projects that have collapsed and they didn't end up presented or published or anything, but it's fine, because you will gain skills and experience that will help you in future projects. So yeah, just keep your options open and ask around. That's the main thing I'm gonna say. Okay, someone has said, so I feel like this is like two questions kind of combined. So someone is scared to fail entering medical school. Can I apply to 3 medical schools and 2 science courses? And is there a word limit on how to write a balanced med and science UCAS application? So I am not an expert on UCAS applications, especially, like, I don't know where you are applying from. Are you a Scottish applicant, English applicant, or, you know, are you an international applicant? I think the UCAS application differs slightly for all of you guys. The way it works in Scotland is I applied to 4 medical schools and then a backup option, which was biomedical sciences. I think you just have to be a bit cautious that because you can only write one personal statement, you want it to be geared towards medicine, so you want to show your commitment that way. Obviously you want to also maximize your chance for getting into medicine, so I think try to put as many medical schools down as possible, but with like a backup option as well. I think it just depends case by case, so ask your career advisors if you're at school, or yeah, you could even like email UCAS or email universities to ask a bit as well. But sorry, I can't really help much with that question. Okay, next question. Do med students get to enjoy the holiday season planning to apply at Edinburgh University? I think yeah, like so in 4th year I had like the October holiday, and that's when I went to Pakistan, so that was a nice bit of time off. And then we obviously got 2 weeks here in December, and that was quite nice as well. And yeah, I've obviously got things going on the side, and I'm constantly trying to plan and organize my 2nd semester, but you definitely do get time off. And I'm a boring person, I think, I'm a very big homebody, but I know people who are like traveling about and doing lots of amazing cool things, so you definitely get time off. And you know, there's obviously busy times, but then you also do get these like down phases as well, where you can just chill and do whatever you want. Okay, so someone has said, what would be the best way to revise for KCP? So KCP is a module that you do in year 1 and 2 called Knowledge to Clinical Practice, KCP. And to revise for KCP, because I guess it's the most like clinically relevant module, right? So for that, I would say revise it like anything else. Incorporate it into your Anki deck, or incorporate it to your question bank, or any active recall that you do. I don't have any specific advice. My main thing would be make mind maps, use whiteboards, teach topics to each other, and yeah, you'll be fine. Like KCP, I enjoyed that module a lot in 1st and 2nd year, because it made me feel like I was a doctor, it made me feel like, you know, yeah, this is like really relevant. Whereas a lot of the time the biomedical stuff is like doesn't seem very relevant. So just enjoy it, and honestly KCP is quite helpful for clinical years as well. So yeah. Alright guys, well that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you found this useful. I want to do more Q&As in the future, and I've just got a lot of content coming up, guys. I know that sometimes I'm not as consistent posting videos, but I'm really trying my best. It's been really busy in 4th year, and I'm just really happy that you guys are tuning into the channel and we're growing slow and steady, but we are happy as that is. And yeah, I'm gonna see you all in my next video. As always, if you have any video suggestions or questions or comments for me, leave them down below, or you can follow the HSTV Instagram at HSTV Official and reach me on there. I'll see you all in my next video, guys. Bye.